And let's see if we can get a signal to the Bat Cave. And we are live. Well, hello, everybody. TGIF. Welcome back to another Reality Skewed Gamers lunch stream with your boy, Ranger J, 1999. Hope you guys are well. And welcome to the show that we do Monday through Friday at this time to bring you something fun and entertaining to listen to as best I can do. Things of that nature with your boy, and we're gonna do stuff in SWGOH and have fun with you guys. And congratulations, you made it to Friday. It's time to enjoy the weekend. We're gonna kick that off today by having fun with you guys. I'm gonna be basically hanging out with you guys all day today. So the plan is we're gonna do this stream for a little bit. Then I will take a pause because I have to go run to do some errands. But I'm gonna be back probably just like 30 minutes. 40 minutes right after I get done streaming with this. And I'm going to be in Discord all day for all the VIPs. We had a lot of fun last night. I didn't have much going on. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to watch a football game. It was a horrible football game. Bears and Commanders. Oh, God, it was horrible. But it was just fun hanging out with everybody and just being goofy. Granny came in there, and there was a lot of us in there last night. It was a lot of fun. So I'm going to continue that trend today. So for all you VIPs, we are going to go in. I'm going to watch baseball all day till tonight when we do our happy hour, and we'll drink and be merry and just have a grand old time at the old town tonight. So we'll do all that stuff. So if you would like to join us, you're more than welcome, man. I'm going to be watching baseball, talking SWGOH, all that good stuff, man. Star Wars talk. We just sit there and have a good time and just yuck it up. Do different things, and that's what it's there for. It's for those, the VIPs that are supporting the channel, and anybody that is a VIP is welcome. And I know what you're asking yourself, Ranger, how can I become a VIP? Well, it's pretty simple. We're having our big Patreon push. You guys have decided that doing stuff on YouTube streaming is a lot better for you all, and I agree, it is. But we don't make anything doing YouTube, so we have to supplement paying for stuff and taking care of things in other ways, so we're using Patreon. So if you haven't become a Patreon sponsor, $5 a month, it really does help us out tremendously. $5 a month for the price of a cup of coffee. You can make fun of Ranger whenever you like. Become a Patreon member. Our goal this month was 24. We've hit 6, so we need 18 more. So if you want to become a patron and support us, you can, and then you get VIP status. That means you can come hang out when I'm hanging out in the Discord. You can get a mini roster view on the lunch streams or anytime I'm streaming anytime you want, because you get that privilege, and you get your own channel in our Discord. That's just reliably just all for the VIPs. So if you haven't become one, think about it. It's $5. So you can do more. It's appreciated. At least just $5, and we need 18 more. So we're halfway through the month. We need to get 18 more. We'll see what happens. But if you want to come join us, and when we're doing all this stuff, then it's a great way to do it. So now to get all that crap out of the way, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. That's an easy way to support the channel. Is to do those two things. So stop what you're doing. Just go hit the thumbs up. Stop what you're doing. Hit the thumbs up. And if you like the content and you're always hanging out here, why aren't you subscribed? Then you get the notifications. You support the channel. It's a win-win. And then this is an interactive stream. So if you have questions, put those into the chat. Make sure you put the word question in front of your actual question statement, and I will get those addressed. And then also give your greeting, because I like to shout out everybody and say hi. I'm not going to do too much today on the stream because, one, I don't have any mod depression. And then do I just run the same team here? Is this diarrhea? Am I going to get? I mean, I got no shot on this one, right? My cartel's not ready. One light side, dark side's not hard. No tanks in your squad. You have to do the full hut cartel thing, but I don't think the team that we have currently constructed, with our hut cartel, I'm pretty sure that we're going to die, right? I think that's the thing, right? Just do your other feats? Okay, thank you, Andrews. That's too funny. Andrew's always like, nah, just Just no. All right, another week of diarrheas. Hey, listen,
Just
man.
suffer with the rest of us. Come on.
Hey, Clayton, what's going on, buddy?
Just crushing the galactic challenge.
I don't know what that's like.
uh, I mean, you will give it a few more
Well,
months.
Lando's still not free to play, so he's sitting there 55 out of 100. I got
I
laid at
mean,
45 out of 65. I used my crystal purchase yesterday, so we'll build up our crystals again, get some more her. I'll do the best I can, so.
yeah, I'm just Zeta mathing over here. I think I will just, luckily, through the extra event and the couple other things, I will have 2 Zetas by the time Ben comes out on Monday.
I have a plethora of Zetas. So one thing I have
I'll
more than you.
trade you. I'll trade you.
What are you going to trade?
What do you want?
Let me think.
I'll trade you a vault for a full Zeta.
Should I give you all my Zetas for full? Conquest. I'm already at 603. I'm done. There's nothing more I need to do. I could get to 630. I still have the 1 feet here, so that's going to put me at like 620. So let's go do another 10 feet, and then I'm done. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can stumble across it at this junction with where you're at.
I'm not even worried about it. So we got this locked in. I did some more yesterday, and I'm like, oh my god. 15 and then I'm good.
Yeah, and what are you gonna do otherwise? Because I mean, like in all honesty, there is so little reason to push it that far because the incremental changes it's what just the Datacron stuff that's even really changed between gold crate and red crate.
Yeah.
Like it's not much, so I would not stress about it.
Yeah. Well, I went to go get some liquor this morning and I hit the Bible Belt. They don't open until 12. I'm like, really?
I mean, to be fair, I don't think that's just an exclusive thing.
Nah, it's the other places in the other parts of the country are open much earlier. It's just like, good lord.
I mean, it depends on where you're at, because I know in like Oregon, the grocery stores don't sell liquor anymore. It's only you have to go to the specialized stores.
That's fine, and I get that. But I mean,
in Washington, you can buy liquor at the grocery store at 8 a.m. if you wanted to.
Well, it's fine. So we'll stream, then I'll go run and grab liquor, and then I'm gonna be in Discord all day. Clayton can
I just find it funny because there's literally a Safeway within like 5 miles of each other. There's 2 Safeways, one here in Oregon, one across the border in Oregon, the other one here in Washington, and you can't buy liquor at one, you can the other. So
yeah, different strokes for different folks. All right, let's say hi to everybody, Clayton, and then I don't even want to show this Galactic Challenge.
I can show. It's a lot more fun when you can just send Sorry to be eaten by the Rancor.
That's true. What do I want to use here? I'll just go the 4 GR with.
Just don't take in a tank.
No, I'm not going to use a tank. We'll use you. I don't know, Padme, Snips, I guess.
I would. Go with Commander Ahsoka, Snips, Padme, and then Gas.
Isn't Gas?
Or are you gonna do? Oh, are you gonna do a?
I mean, I just got throw Watt in there.
Yeah, that would
do
work.
that.
Dark side.
Before we do this, let me say hi to everybody. Let's say hi to everybody, Clayton.
Okay.
Roy Edwards says, TGIF, Ranger and Skewers, TGIF. What are you doing, Vato? You crazy homes? What are you doing? Good to see you here, man. Evan Buckler says, morning, Ranger and Skewers. Bring on the goddamn weekend. That's right. Bring it on indeed, sir. Andrew Zani says, hello there, Ranger. Hey, Betty, and hello there. George Fletcher says, meet George Fletcher. Says, what's up, fellow skewers? TGIF, and let's have a great weekend. Yes, let's have a good weekend as well. Ray Rock says, good morning, Ranger. Pickle flashers, Wookiee strokers, and taco eaters. Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah, that does describe all of us very well. That's true. Skywalker Vader, good Vulcan Canadian friend up there in Canada. Says, live long and prosperous, and hello there, eh? Hello there. Wolfman says, TGIF Ranger and Skewers, how did your GAC go yesterday? Well, it was diarrhea. Moving on. It's Vadercron, man. I gotta say, though, that Imperial Trooper team with Shock T, it was money. Just keep
Yeah.
keep Dark Trooper clean, with no days and anything, and he'll do all the work for you, man. So it don't matter what Datacron got. So that's gonna be your cleanup team from now on. So they'll put me a team down because I do like my troopers on some stuff, but yeah. Arnelli says, I just finished Conquest. Ben Solo unlocked day 1. So effing pumped. Hell yeah. That's nice, Arnelli. Yeah, Solo's going to be nice. He's going to be super nice. Said Pimp. Josh Elf, recent Patreon, says, howdy, Ranger Scares. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Phil Reagan's joining us. Says, hello, Ranger and Skewers. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, my friend. Let's see here. Who have we not set out to? Hawthorne. Yes, there's Hawthorne. Says actually not too hard, actually, but you need to remod a bit. Okay. You said remod and you lost me. What else? Saying 3 says, welcome to Friday. Do you know where your tacos are? Well, no. Dark Sides join us as I use bounty hunters. Sure, you can use those. And then Andrew Zani says, question, mod check on my Chad badge. Yeah, we'll look at your bad badge in a second. Let me do this fight real quick here. Can you Ahsoka sortie? Should be able to, right?
Yeah, she'll come back.
Oh, so who should we get rid of here?
It doesn't matter. They'll from the spare parts buff, they'll all revive. So
what does this
it doesn't.
do?
It's rally the tribe.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put the tank tech on. Who gets
I mean,
the tank?
besides tons of target locks, I would probably put it on.
I put on Kenobi.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean, Padme, the yeet is still gonna be fine to get rid of somebody, but the problem is you're gonna have to try to find a way to keep your good friend Watt alive.
I'm not worried about that. He doesn't have to survive, does he?
Yeah.
He does?
One light side and dark side surviving is not the feat.
Oh, no. Oh, dire. Well, this is over. Okay, that's not a good call.
I mean, not without a tank.
No,
if you want to do the fight.
And because they're just gonna shoot him in the face every time.
Yeah, if you wanted to, yeah, I believe it's without surviving. You could double check the feat.
Put weapon tech on Cat. Won't that stop the revive? You know what? Let me do that again.
What is it?
Put the weapon tech on Cat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, let's try that. Yeah,
that's true. I forget about that.
Yeah, let's try that. I didn't think about that. Good call.
I keep sorting out for. I always discount weapon tech being any kind of usable. I
know, since they
under JMK
turned it to diarrhea.
With JMK,
it didn't work. Yeah, it's not gonna work. So.
Oh yeah, the revive on Sortie can't be prevented.
Yeah. So.
Wahaha.
Cad, Bubba, Greed, Chrysanthemum, Bush. Listen, Hawthorne. All right, he wants me to run with my shitty ass cartel. Okay, I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna get molested, and then we're gonna go try to.
It's RNG. You have to get an opener where she doesn't use the
AOE.
Where she doesn't use the AOE, yeah. So
okay,
it's all RNG.
Oh well, I'll be damned.
There you go. You start with it. Ability blocks. We need the ability blocks.
Well, they cleansed it, and Chrysanthemum's already dead. So yeah, mine are good enough. Okay, that was a nice experiment. We tried it. Yeah.
I mean, you just got to do what? You just got to beat it with a light and dark side.
Mandos might be a nice, fun one to try. I haven't used Maul Mandos in a while. Oh.
I always forget that they're a useful team.
Yeah, me too. Let's see. We'll put Ben.
You just don't use them very frequently.
Yeah, we really don't.
Well, Vader always takes Maul at this point, especially with the Kron. Like Vader is just stealing Maul left, right, and center.
Yeah. Let's try it.
The team is so much more deadly with it.
Well, they just knocked out 2 of my guys instantly.
Well, if you had everyone at Relic 7. Just here to rag. You still have a light side, dark side, so you can still get.
You could pull this off. See who's got to live here. Well, it's just Maul needs to live here.
You can't target him, can you?
You
can't give him DI.
Let's see. Well, let's
Just don't attack Sortie because you're just gonna waste so much. She has so much protection up.
Why couldn't I target?
You need to feed your Maul some Wheaties.
He has Wheaties.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't working. I mean, they're going after Bam, who's under DI, so that's creamy.
I'm just curious as why you, with the 3 stacks of Beskar, you didn't slap that on our good boy Mando.
You want Mando or Maul?
Maul, sorry. Maul.
No, you can die. Okay, might as well go for it. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. Sorting. Let's see. 1, 2.
Why can't my
3.
Sortie be this good?
I know, right? This ain't gonna work. We tried it. We have to go in with the power team.
I mean, unless you just want to keep bashing your head against the wall here.
Yeah, I know, right? What could we use that's not a tank? We get the feet.
I mean, if you want to do JMK with full, I mean, you're gonna have to run 2 different teams because I don't think you got a way to run. Because without a tank, just do JMK with full GR.
Yeah, I think that's just power through
take
it.
Take Cat, take Gas, take Ahsoka.
Yeah, I think this is clear.
And then, heck, I would even drop Padme and pick up Cam.
You want Cam? All right.
Yeah, just more damage. Just smash through their faces.
Yeah, we'll do C next. Yeah, C's not a bad one. The problem is you have to have a light side and a dark side live, and that's just the problem.
Well, you could run with light side, dark side. You could run JML with a tank. JML with Watt.
Yeah, it's true.
Because then he can just tank it in the face. Kill somebody besides Sortie.
But I want to kill Sortie. We don't like her.
She gets the protection up every time you touch her.
He's gonna taunt anyway. I just want to.
Oh. God.
See, I'm not attacking Sortie.
Just keep going after. They don't mark the VIP, which is weird that they don't mark the VIP after Sortie goes down. It's kind of weird that it doesn't come back. But technically, HKs are VIP, so.
I
wish my Sortie routine was this durable.
Well, it's not. Well, I can go Sortie now.
Yeah, that's true, George. That could be a problem as well. You could do. Yeah, the other one you could do. The Amazonian suggested was JML with Malik, and then just don't try to do it with Watt because Watt's gonna get eaten up by the. Not if they're all stun locked, George Fletcher. You can. I don't really care what it takes to kill him. Just gonna enjoy my sweet dividends of investing into Java early. With my.
Yeah, so we got the tank and the other one. So you said Malik with JML. What was the team JML with Malik?
JML with Malik, yeah. Just take JML with just massive hitting Jedi. So take your Jedi Knight Luke and your.
Not you, Malgus.
He wouldn't be a bad one either, to be honest.
Actually,
I would actually take. I would take Malgus over.
Malik, yeah. Let's try Malik.
Yeah. Well, he's just a thicker tank.
Yeah.
Just he won't be taunting nearly as much.
Da-da, da-da. Who else do we want? Luke.
I mean, I'd do Gas and Cam.
Yeah. Not you yet.
You just need heavy, durable hitters. I mean, that's all.
Herman Flores says, "Who you and who? RSG. Hope all the skiers are doing well on this fine Friday. We sure is."
Wolfman sounds salty.
About
He says not all of us can invest in Jabba like the Wailing
I know,
Cannoneer.
right? He's not wrong.
I mean, yeah, you're not. It's true. It is true, and I'm not telling any of you guys to invest in Jabba right now with what they, with what you're getting
He
for
might
the.
die. Okay, your
Jesus
first
Christ!
shot.
What are we doing over here?
There we go. That's creamy. That worked.
Just how are you not like crushing their faces yet?
I don't know. Look, I just work here. But da 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 da. Go get him, Cam. Cam it up. Cam it up. There's the death. And there's happy days. Alright. But da 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 da.
Use the event special too.
So he's got. Look, you need some more hits there. Okay. Get him, gas. Da 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 da. That's right. That's what you get for hitting. Boom. Hey, Hawthorne, what about I don't care to remod? Did you, brother, did you not get?
Let's get the important part figured out, which is
Ranger,
which is
Ranger dumb.
Ranger just wants the Omicrons.
Ranger diarrhea.
Ranger does not care at all about a little extra mod material.
No. I'm going
and that's said with all love and care.
Yeah. But yeah. No, let's not use Ewoks. All right, so I got the tier 8 crate. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, you could do one of the lower tiers with Hucker Hotel, but I mean, if you're happy with the crate you have, I mean,
well, let's see, just to see what happens. What is see? Was it tier 6 or 7? How many?
I think to go to well, you're already from second away. You just need 15.
All right, so
tickets.
2,
so I think it's
5, 8, 11, 14. Yeah, so it's tier 6. Let's see what happens. I probably need to get. Well, as long as you know I'm a lost cause there, Hawthorne. I am. All right, we'll try.
You could also watch your boy Scribe's video too. He did one this morning.
I don't really care about Scribe either.
Oh, I wasn't talking to you, Ranger.
Just in general. Hawthorne. Yeah, I'm a lost cause. Right?
Yeah. We Hawthorne and I are just ignoring you in the conversation.
That's right, and you should.
Yeah, try to work out IG first.
I'm just doing the Lord's work here. Oh. Oh no. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, once Cad gets his his alt off, he is or no, it's alt his contract off. He is a hard mother to put down.
How dare you use that foam shit on me?
The carbonite spray projector. Do-do. Meow. Now it's just getting our good boy HK out of stealth.
Mm-hmm. Or we can just take her out and...
Oh yeah, that works too. When she's got way less health, you know, it's much easier to power through her.
It's shaking bacon. I helped. All right, so that should put us at there where we needed. Ni hao, Benny. Well,
Yeah.
hen
So I
how,
mean,
Nina?
yeah.
It says I did tier 6 low hut using Bubba Lead. You can do that, I guess. There, engineer. Choo choo, the engineer's here. I missed your greeting, didn't I? I did. Well, choo choo. Whitefly says, good morning, Ranger. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, my friend. All right, we got the tier 9 crate. A little bit better there, right? Get some rewards. Let's check it out. Got a little bit more stuff in there, so not too shabby. Nicholas says, hey, Ranger Skewers, happy TGIF Datacrons. Yeah. They don't make us happy.
No, no, they do not.
They just don't.
Far they do many things that are not good.
Not productive. No.
Oh.
All right, let me check the stores real quick. Anything in here? I won't. Well, some good stuff here. You know, I'm getting them furnaces right there, baby. That's pretty good. And then, just looking for the chat at comlinks so we can
What?
get any.
Palpatine, why are you looking like my Darth Revan? You
I don't
dirty
know.
I'm messed up. I clicked Palpatine as a Darth Revan when I went into the fight.
Aha!
I'm just doing fights for. I guess I'm just hoarding Datacron material. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
There's no reason for it, really. If I remember correctly, I think the only real advantage of hoarding now and for set 4 is when it breaks down. I think all your Mark III upgrade become Mark II reroll materials. Not all of them, but a portion. So part of me is just trying to front load my my set 6, which is just an asinine way to think of this.
Well, you know. All right, let me see here. You did all that stuff, and then Conquest, you just have to do a few little battles here and there. So, yeah. Hey, Lord Merchant and the Decepticons coming. This is Happy Friday, Skewers. What's going on, Betty? All right, as you guys know, we're going to do this for a little bit. Then I'm going to go run and do some errands. And then I'll be about 30 minutes at most. And then I'm going to be in Discord all day with the VIPs, hanging out, doing man shit, watching baseball, drinking. And then we'll do tonight. We'll be on Twitch doing happy hour, and then yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And then I'm trying to think. Jedi Academy and Aurora. I think we have D&D too. So yeah,
I'll see how much tonight I can be around. I got the old man's in town all week. We found a lot that we put an offer on yesterday. It was accepted, so now we got to do some more shenanigans.
Shenanigans, shenanigans, and then no, I think that's it for now. Yeah. Go Cubs! Oh, yeah, wait. It says Nemesis, VP from the Halls Cubs fan, put in his retirement papers this morning. I'm starting to really get nervous about this trend. Also, Grid's video this morning is his actual constructive feedback. Well, I'm glad someone has it because I tried yelling and screaming, that didn't work. But then I've tried constructive feedback too, and it's not working. So.
Yeah, I don't know how long they're gonna just keep their heads in the trenches on Datacrons before they even stand up and say anything different about them.
Yeah, Zareth had a really good. Zareth had a good video about the trends in GSC this morning. It was pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah, how many people still play? It's on my list to watch later today. But yeah,
trends are going down, folks. So
yeah, I mean, it's unsustainable. Players initially invest into it because it was new and it was something different. And I think the longer it drags out, the more players just go, this isn't worth keeping up with anymore, because if you don't get really good RNG, then you just are going to suffer. I mean, I was watching Fatal play yesterday. Holy crap, this guy had some insane RNG luck on his Datacrons. I mean, we're talking like 80% dodge natural. We're not talking like he re-rolled it a dozen times. It wasn't even level 9, so you can't re-roll the stats. He had like level 6s with like 60% dodge on them. And like, that's just investment. That's just spend time upgrading Datacron after Datacron after Datacron after Datacron, or you got incredibly lucky. Either way, how do you fight that? Watching just Fatal is a top tier player just getting kicked in the crotch by can't land a hit. you know.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, it's just one of those things.
No, it's not a good trend. I got you there, and just I was getting to it. I gotta look at his bad batch real quick. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, we'll look at it,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Elsie has a quick question here, which is what happens to unspent Datacron materials? So the unspent materials, they disassemble and go down typically. So a lot of what will happen is like your Mark 3 upgrade materials go to Mark 2, your Mark 2 upgrade materials go to Mark 1, your Mark 1 upgrade materials go to I think Mark 1 reroll your Mark 1 reroll go to Mark 1 upgrade. So, and then the kind of the same thing for the other ones, but I think your Mark 3 upgrades actually go to Mark 2 rerolls, and then your Mark 2 go to Mark they deconstruct it kind of the upgrades are a little bit different, but everything gets broken down and transferred to the next set. So you don't lose them, they just don't transfer at a 1-to-1 ratio.
yeah.
So
Celsius says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir." Yeah, Kyber drop off is man. They have really squished the shit out of Kyber. I just got squished, and if I lose 3 or 4 more times in a row, I ain't gonna be in Kyber 1 anymore. There, Clayton. That 100 points does make a difference.
yeah, well, somebody in my Maddie posted his opponent in Kyber 2, and that guy is just going absolutely balls to the wall on Datacrons trying to get out of Kyber 2, and I'm just like, this is not how to play the game. I'm like, how far? I think you got to get into Kyber 4 or 5 to get into the people who don't give a crap about
Yeah.
Datacrons bracket.
Yeah.
So
Let's see here. Bad batch there, eh? Let's see here. Echo. Let's look at you first because he should be a speed set. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just looking to see if you have the right kind of sets on these guys. Hunter should be damage. Yeah, he is. Omega's damage. What the? Okay. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't. I'm going to pretend I don't see this right now.
I like how Omega has the highest star count out of all of us. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Except
Andrew's
I'm
getting
just
ready
gonna
for that.
pretend I don't see those 2 speed mods there, Andrew Zani. I'm just gonna ignore
Andrew's
that
always getting
because
ready for that new TB.
I'm just gonna pretend like that's not a thing, Andrew Zani. I think he did it on purpose.
I think he did too.
Yeah. House. Well, that's fine. He's tanky set, and then tick. Yeah, potency and speed. Yeah, this is fine. I mean, it's hard to judge because 1, the team's not done, and 2, it's not sliced. Echo's got to be your fastest. So yeah. Celsius is about 4% of the player base quit the game in the past few weeks. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we've been seeing it, man. I just been seeing people drop like flies. I mean, content creators, other people they're done, you know? So it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Alpha and the Omega says, "Hi, Ranger and Skewers. Hey, what's going on, buddy?" The Revenator's here. His little hand. Look at him waving there. he's got Trump hands. Skywalker Vader, what's going on, Revenator? Skywalker Vader says, "Guys, I just got my GL Kylo to Relic 7. I'm on him with health and speed, no ultimate. What can I do with them in first order, please? Thanks." What, in GAC?
Without all, it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
He still claps a lot of cheeks. But it would say like most A tier teams you can probably do. But without the all, I wouldn't underman or solo anything. You're too open to a little bit of bad RNG going sideways for you. So I would still take first order in, but you can. I mean, it's a guaranteed win against most non-GL teams. I would say the only thing that might give you trouble might be gas if you like force the 5 sacrifice.
Who else we got here? Revenue says, "Don't forget about my Cheeto dusted hair. I'm sorry, it's orangutan color." Bobby, god damn it, Bobby. What did I told you about joining the chat when you're sniffing propane? Says, what up, Ranger and Skewers? What's going on, Betty? Let's see here. Hoff says, I don't think they care about losing 7% of the player base as long as they're making 7% more profit. They're very short sighted about this game. And I agree. I don't understand the moves with Datacrons. I mean, and in all fairness, I think they've done some really good things. Me and Clayton, and when we're talking about this game, we are very fair. And we give them praise when they deserve it. The mod stuff, we praise them on. A lot of stuff that Omicron's praised them on. Starkiller praised them on. Loved it. And I think Swallow looks great. And there's a lot of good stuff that they do that we give them the attaboy and give them a pat on the back. But, I mean, Datacrons, they have shit the bed when it comes to Datacrons. I can't put it any other way. It's just no other words can describe it. It's a bad concept. It's a bad implementation. It's just a bad overall.
They are really in the mindset right now, which the framework, I understand what they're doing. The first iteration was Conquest. Conquest was the first iteration of content that can be minimally tweaked to keep reproducing new things. So it's low effort with a fairly decent yield. For what they got to do, because you're only tweaking a few stats here and there. You're just adding and subtracting things off the board every 3 months. You're not working that hard for it. And Datacrons kind of was that next iteration of that. And the new TB is another iteration of Conquest in the large scheme of things for how they want it to work. They want it to evolve. So they'll change the fights and stuff every few, 6 months, a year, or whatever it ends up being, so it stays relatively fresh. But Datacrons, I think, was a major whiff on that because it's the only version of this thing that's not permanent. If you went hard in the paint and it banked them, you're like, okay, this set's now offline for the next 3 months, then fine. But the fact that you lose everything, you don't get anything back, it's a massive whiff on their behalf. I think the general concept of it wasn't terrible. Something that they can tweak with and have fun with and players can invest in, but how it's shaking out has been nothing but face across asphalt. So
yeah, you can't have something that's temporary that is that OP. You just can't. Not for the investment that it takes for it, and it's a complete whiff. It's complete mess. And if you like Datacrons, there's been a couple people that have argued with me, and I'm like, all right, if that's what you want it. But I mean, it's killing this game, so.
Yeah, I think the people who like Datacron like very specific parts of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're the one winning, you're a lot more tolerable of it.
Yeah.
It's like get your butt handed to you by the fact that you can't do anything in a GAC round because your counter you spent 6 months for grinding is out the window.
It's
There are just too many things where you're relying on so much RNG. And I think that's the one thing that a lot of the high-end players hate the most is that the top end is coming down to RNG, not coming down to being a better player, a better modder, or a better strategist. It's literally just, were you able to land an attack with my 50% deflection?
Yeah.
How many dodges did you get? How did the game crunch the numbers so that you were able to get through and I wasn't? And that's kind of what it's coming down to is, you're going to get stuck on these fights because of RNG, not because of you're a good player or a bad player or whatever else. It just comes down to that aspect, which I think is like the most hated aspect of the entire game. Nobody loves RNG, and Datacrons have just pushed that right off the cliff. It's all going to be RNG, especially with dodge meta.
Yeah.
Why they went back that way, I have no idea.
I don't either. Bobus says, hello there, Ranger, Carth, and Skewers. Hope you're all well. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, my fellow guilty. Carson Haley says, it is the Gear 12 bottleneck that's crushing my account. Yeah, we're all there. It's something that's been addressed on this stream, that the Gear 12 bottleneck. It's not just the Gear 12 bottleneck, but you have to get all that gear to get the character's relic, and then you have to go farm that same gear at high rates, and then salvage it unless you're using crystals for that, which most people aren't.
Well, and even you're consuming more at high relic levels of that gear than you are to take another character to gear 13.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what the Gerda keypads, you're consuming essentially 5 furnaces worth of like 5 complete furnaces worth of salvage,
Yeah.
where it's like characters only require at the most 3. You
Yeah.
know, you have the two full furnaces and then 50 salvage. So it
It's
for a single
gross.
relic level, and
Yeah, it's
it's not
gross. It's
doesn't
gross.
pay off.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Bobby says, I believe the leak and community reaction gave them all the feedback they needed before they rolled out Datacrons. They had to be able to fix it before it was a problem. No, they didn't think it was a problem, so that's a problem. Rod Winter says, hello there, guys. Hello there. Says, how can Datacrons be fixed? CG won't put it away, so what could they do to keep their income and yet be fair? Nothing. I don't care about their income on this because there's other ways to make income.
Yeah.
Datacron's got to go away. I'm going to crush their balls on this every time they release a new one. So until they go away, I don't want to compromise anymore. If CG is not going to, if they cannot see what we are seeing and understand the impact of Datacrons in this game, then I'm going to crush them. You know, and sorry if I hurt your feelings, but this isn't a feelings thing. This is about, you know, playing a game that we have all invested in. I've been playing this game coming up on 7 years. I've been streaming it for 6.5. I care about this game passionately. I wouldn't have been doing it for so long. And I hate the state that the game's in. I don't want it to be the state that it's in. I pretend to be a jackass, but I'm actually got a little bit of a brain on my head. So is my degrees and other experience that I have. Kind of can see trends and see things and see what's happening with this game. Yeah, I'm going to crush their balls on this stuff. And I'm going to keep doing it until they make changes. I don't want to compromise on Datacrons. They're not needed. They're not wanted. They're not needed. They don't offer anything. Not for a temporary thing, and not for a temporary thing. Not for that kind of money. No, no, sir. No, sir.
Yeah, for the amount you have to pour into it to make things viable, followed up with the fact that it doesn't last long enough to do. It takes most players who are doing it light spending and free to play. It takes them the better part of a GA season or 2 to finally get some of these Datacrons, and then they get it for another couple of months, and it doesn't mean anything. You spent 2 seasons getting the crap punched out of you, so now you're falling really low, or you're out of the bracket that you were competitive in before, and then you double up on that by the time, because now that you're caught up to them, it doesn't mean that you don't have the ability to continue to win. So
Yeah.
it's like it's participating or not, it doesn't balance the playing field whether you have the Datacron or not. It still comes down to so many other factors that just like,
Yeah.
bend the whole system.
Yeah.
Nice try, but
you know, just
over.
Start over, and I would respect that, and I would defend CG on that. You know, I'd be like, you know, they you know, took responsibility and did the right thing, and if they did that, I'd be their biggest cheerleader, and I would be out here screaming it to the, you know, that hey, give them credit. They said they messed up, and that's okay. Diffie says spinning wheel has made game borderline unplayable and certainly unenjoyable these past few days. I'd quit if it continued for a period of time. We've had a lot of problems with bugs. I still can't get over this one, Karthik. How we had the bug that we had that had significant impact in GAC that caused people to lose matches.
Yeah.
And then they fixed it, but then didn't think about restarting GAC for those players. And there's not even an announcement like compensation or anything. I'm just like,
no, I didn't.
Wow.
In all honesty, well, I told you that when it happened, when we were streaming Wednesday night, they weren't going to do anything. I mean, I knew that coming into it. I didn't know that was the issue until I had failed 3 times, that there was an issue with Bam on defense, and it was causing an immediate soft lock when you try to go in to fight him. And the fact that the part that's irking me more than anything, like, I don't really care about restarting GAC, but it's like, you're not even going to go through and do like a make good on anything. Like, hey guys, we screwed up. Here's 300 to 500 crystals. You know, have some Clone Wars Chewie shards. Ha 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 ha. Have some Grand Arena currency. You know, and be done with it. Like, I don't, for the life of me, every other mobile game I've played, when they do anything that screws the player experience at all, whether it's intentional or not, they always make some sort of make nice.
Yeah.
You know, I played a game that literally the servers had to come down once a week for maintenance. So there was like an hour or 2 a week where you couldn't play the game at all. Well, they just, hey, you know, server maintenance, here's some in-game currency to help you along your way for missing the time you could have been playing, you know. And there was so many things like that where it's just like, I don't get why they get so stingy on it. I mean, have you seen the charity Cairo pack that we're getting.
Mm-mm.
That is the most dog shit thing I've seen anybody offer as a $20,000 reward. I mean, like, I'm hoping the inbox gift is better by a lot, but like, it's like 3 Kairos of both, 3 and then 3 of like the other main, like the main purple gear crunches. I think Carbonti is the stun cuffs and whatever else.
Oh, goody.
It's like a grand total of like maybe like 25. Like I don't even think it's 25. I think it's maybe like 15 to 20 pieces of gear.
Well,
And like that was only if we got to $20,000 on the charity donations. And I'm like, really, guys? Why are they so stingy on that kind of crap?
the
Like,
economy,
you want it.
it's the economy. They're so scared that if they go too far, that they can't. If they ever had to pull it back, that they wouldn't be. I'm like, I don't agree with that, but well,
I mean, just do what they always been doing. Just make another progression system that everyone has to start on square zero for. It's like it's what you did with relics. You create another progression system that oh well, you can break down this massive horde of gear you have. Yeah, that only gets you so far.
yeah.
Players can't do it indefinitely, and the more relic levels you add to things, the more expensive it gets to do it. So I don't know. It's just I could sit there and hammer on this all day. There are things that you can nitpick and hate on the game, and I feel like the more I do that, the less I want to play. So I'm just gonna go stare at my slug and enjoy the fact that he's unlocked. He's got his ultimate.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just do that for now. But I mean, if I could ever have a sit down conversation with them and talk to them about it in a very constructive manner, I'd love to. But they don't do. It's like every time we do anything that increases player goodwill, they immediately shit all over it. Like it's in the same stride. And I'm like, and it's not intentional every time, but it just comes out. Like everyone's like, well, we had a really good road ahead last time. So who's taking bets? The next one's going to be absolute shit.
Yeah, it's just
It's like,
Bill Cup says a really good point here. He says, you know what I'm sick of? Datacrons being part of every conversation since their inception. We should be excited about PJ Ben, Java, Dr. Afra, TB, the mod update. So many good things overshadowed. Yeah, but you can't ignore the giant heap of elephant shit sitting in the middle of the room.
Yeah,
I don't care what else is in the room. You could have a big screen TV and like the man cave is perfect. And hey, Bob, you got a big giant pile of elephant shit over there. Hey, it's all right. Don't just ignore that. Well, it's kind of hard not to talk about it. It's affecting my will to live at the moment.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. There are so many more things to be excited about in the game, but I think the issue is always coming back to is like it doesn't matter what you pump new into this game. If datacrons are attached to it in any capacity, it just massively impacts players' engagement factor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we know for a god-given fact that set 5 is going to do something with Hut Cartel and something with Ben. It's like it's going to be all like Malgus all over again. We don't know how good the character is going to be because we have this datacron that's going to make the character absolutely bonkers. And so it's like, yay, new character. But now I just spent 3 months farming shards for you, and I've spent 3 months hoarding gear and Zetas and Omegas for you, or no, Omicrons for you. And then you're going to immediately turn around and go, it's not going to be as good unless you get this datacron. Like, that was the sour taste with Malgus in everyone's mouth. Scribe's a good case in point for me. Is he took Malgus to R7 right away, and it wasn't until the 3rd season of the GAC it's been active that he was able to bring the rest of the team up high enough to even use the Malgus cron he got back in the last season of 3s.
Yeah.
So it's like you have a team that just is poop because they immediately release something else that goes with it that you can't get ahead of or set aside resources for or anything else in the process of. He goes, well, it won't be as good unless you get this cron. It's like this Sunday would be better with sprinkles and whipped cream, right? But they're like $80 more. Like, don't worry about it. Just like, screw this noise.
Yeah. What else in 3?
Yeah, they were just poorly
go ahead, be safe.
implemented.
Yeah, they got to go
Skull
away.
yell, by the way.
Or
I
Skull.
snuck in.
I heard the laugh. I knew he was here.
I'm always here. I was a little late this morning.
That's okay. We're just beating the shit out of Datacrons again because they pissed us
As long
off.
as you are and she isn't.
I've refused to do anything with Datacrons. I'm trying to will them out of existence by ignoring them, but which I'm sure most of the player base is. I mean, I have the ones that they gave us. I have like 4 Datacrons right now because I'm not. To me, there's no point in investing in something that's going to go away in 3 months. I've got other stuff I want to put those resources into.
Yeah.
And I mean, the when they jumped up to Omnicrons is fine, but then to add Datacrons on all of a sudden, it's like, okay, they keep talking about balance in the game, and Datacrons just throw that balance out the freaking window.
Oh, tremendously! It comes down to like my matches. It's who gets past Lord Vader and what other Datacrons are there.
Right. but for to kind of hop on the bandwagon, for all their talk about balance in the game and how how many times have they gone through and redone a character because it quote unquote breaks the game. Datacrons in and of themselves break this game instantly, and they don't seem to care.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, because what you're breaking the game with is money. Like they don't care because now it's not impacting their revenue, it's increasing it. Like, so it's just all they've done is moved the variable from one side of the equation to the other. If we can get people to throw more money at the game so that everyone can have a game-breaking feature, well, then that's fine. But Lord forbid Darth Vader beat Rey anymore with a very heavy counter. Lord forbid that happen anymore. Well, we can't have defense penetration. We can't have ignoring defense. It just makes some characters just too good. But we'll sell you $100 Datacron.
It's just head scratching, man. It's like there's a separate team that just does Datacrons, and they just have no idea how this game works. It is really out of touch.
The left hand's not talking to the right hand.
It's what it feels like. It really does. It's like a group that worked on Datacrons, and they're so stubborn. Their ego will not allow the fact that, one, they didn't know what they were doing when they put this in. And it's obvious. Right, you look at Datacrons and the stat, and it's not just we've talked about the GL abilities, but it's the other abilities on those things that have just been so ridiculous. The Hellstill, the deflection, dodge. You go down the line, it's like
the idea. I mean, if you pull it back a little bit, the idea of Datacrons isn't a bad idea. It was just so poorly implemented. Yeah, because the idea was to boost these teams. If you go off of what the original intent was, it was to take a team that was like a D team, say, I don't know, Night Sisters or something, right? Even though they're up there, I'd call them a B team, but one of those teams that nobody really like Ewoks, for instance. It's a bottom of the rung. You need them for something, but if you had a Datacron that boosted them to be on par with like a CLS team or something like that, right? That's good, but you have to have them at least relic 3 in order to use it, which at that point nobody has that relics because we still can't get to gear 13. At least you can't get it's a pain in the butt to get a whole team up to gear 13 because of that gear crunch right there at gear 12.
Well, yeah, see, there's a thing that I have a problem
so you can't get it up to relics in the first place.
Yeah, so 2 things on that. One, what's the point of Omicrons? Isn't that what Omicrons were doing? And we were happy about? Yeah. Because they were already doing that. So Omicrons pretty much have become pointless at this point. Omicrons do nothing. They don't do anything in TW, and they don't do anything in GAC. Now they're starting to put more TB ones out, but woo,
But the Datacrons you can only use in certain areas, right?
TW GAC and TW, those are 2 big areas. Yeah, and the Omicrons can only be used in TW or GAC. So, it's like I don't understand what, but then that's total bullshit what they said. Because if you look at the teams that they picked to be the teams that they thought needed help, they lost me immediately.
Yeah, they didn't need help in the
JNK
first
and
place.
Ray and GACTW, what that told me that this team that did Datacrons does not play at a high level in this game or test this shit at certain levels. There's no way you could be in tune with, like, if you played this game every day, or if you listen to people who play this game every day and saw what they were dealing with and what's going on, and then thought that those were the two teams that needed Datacrons. Someone made the argument that no one would spend on them. Then don't implement them, man. Seriously. You just created you created a problem and offer a solution. That's what their mentality is now with some of this shit. And I can't stand it. It's like there was no problem. You just were trying to come up with a way to make money and force people to make, because the people that do, and we've talked to all of them. I stream with everybody and I talk to everybody. They only go stuff on Datacrons because they have to, not because they want to. That's it, plain and simple, and they're getting sick of it, and that's why you're seeing the drop off. I mean, I was talking about earlier. Zerod's video really was mind opening about how many people are in Kyber with the squishing they're doing. Again, trying to force the problem and offer the solution. The amount of people that are just engaged in GAC, the amount of players that are playing this game is significantly dropped off. It's like 10% or something. That's a big thing. Some people put some numbers in here earlier. There's direct correlation. It ain't because we're not excited about TB. It ain't because we're not excited about Swallow. It ain't because we don't love the mod changes. We do. All that stuff's good stuff. But if you got, as I said, that big pile of elephant shit in the room, people can only look, smell, and deal with it for so long before they just say, "I'm out. I'll go play something else."
Right. Clean it or get me out of here. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's just the issue where we're stuck on this too. It's like, it would be one thing. So like this, set case in point with this set. This set would be more tolerable.
My bad, Celsius, 4% out of 10, but still a lot.
If this set would be more tolerable if Lord Vader was not in the level 9 pool. If he didn't get the stacking mastery, didn't have the fast alt, or didn't have the down with the thickness syndrome. If he didn't have those, the cooldown reduction would be fine, because it would break his mechanics to the point where Vader becomes easier to beat on defense. But when you combine the two together, the power curve is so out of control that Lord Vader now, without set 2 being around anymore, is so out of control strong that there's like 2 or 3 teams that can beat him on the first try in the game right now. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think realistically it's only one. I think it's Slacker, and you need to have the accuracy level 3 ability. So whenever they miss, they inflict evasion down and get accuracy up. And then you got to throw in Wat Tambor, the armor, and then Doc a zombie. The other team, I believe, is the cheese team with our good friend Palpatine and Tarkin, which again is just so stupid. Like it's just a dumb mechanic to have, and then it just overcommits, and it just becomes as part of the game where you don't get to enjoy it, And I don't know. I think the more they keep this up, because it's like we talked about this the other day, if set 5 has to combat set 4, we're gonna see this weird dyad that they're gonna force into the game, where it's like you're always gonna have to invest in the next one, because the next set is gonna sell the solution to the previous set. And I think that's just going to be a never-ending cycle of players wanting to quit the game. And that's what's happened. We see this every time. Every time a new set drops, players quit.
Yep.
We don't get players excited to come back and enjoy the game again. Oh, well, they finally introduced this set. They got a character that I really liked. Oh, it's going to be a lot more fun now. There's going to be no game-breaking mechanics. This would be this would be good for us. No one's saying that. There's no one who gets excited about another set releasing and your friends come back to play the game again. It's just like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone comes back when maybe there might have been people who were like, Ben Swallow's kind of cool. I want to get him. I'll come back for this set of Conquest and I'll play it. But, and that was kind of with Malgus. People quit when before the Malgus was announced, like, all right, well, I'll come back and I'll get Malgus unlocked in my account. But that's what they're back for. They're not back to go grind on Datacrons or go play GAC. I mean, hell, I know a lot of players now who literally they join GAC, do one attack, and just let the losses roll in, because they just want the daily crystals from, or just the minimum for the loss on their GAC report. I'm like, that's not a way this game was supposed to be played. So I don't know. I just get to the point now where I'm gonna go sit and hang out on the sidelines and.
Yeah, that's all we're doing right now. Listen, and I'm going to power through this. We always do, guys. I mean, we've been through some dark times before. I've been through the good times and the bad times in this game. So we'll power through it. We're not going anywhere. I mean, I'm ride or die. We'll see what happens. But if the game dies, as I said, we'll go play something else. I'll go play Battlefront with these guys. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I just don't. We'll play another Star Wars game until a new one comes out or something. I mean, there's other things we can be doing. But, I want to support the game. I do support the game. I stream the game. The reason we're negative the way we are is because we got to be honest. We got to shoot straight and be honest about like how we're feeling and what we're seeing and how you guys are feeling.
I mean, to be honest, I've almost quit a couple times just, because there's certain things that just is like, really? Yeah. Especially with like recently with the push for the Inquisitors, and then now the Hutt Cartel. It's like they're forcing you to get the newest and greatest, and it's like some people can't do that.
Can't afford it.
So you're going for the top, what, 1 or less than 1% of the people that play this game.
Yeah, and
that's just so they have something new. Everybody else is like, well, you can't do it, so I guess I'm just gonna auto it.
Yeah, and the worst part is too, it's not that like the new stuff is like Hutt Cartel has been substantially dialed back from where Inquisitorius was. Inquisitorius the entire time was, if you don't have them, you ain't getting this feat. Hutt Cartel, it's a little bit more RNG, but it is still a little bit more doable. Which, right. I'm not trying to defend that whole thing. It's still a cluster, but I mean, the thing of it is, on top of requiring these new factions, they didn't make them easy to get, or gear.
Yeah,
like the Inquisitorius is like hands down like a massive Chirotex dump. They're almost as bad as Bad Batch, if not worse. And they just put the steaming turd out there, and the team isn't bad if you invest into it, you get the mods sorted, everything else. They're not as bad as everyone wants to hammer on. But the problem is that most players cannot take a brand gear up and farm and shard and everything, a brand new squad, and have it functional without drastically impacting their current gameplay. And I think that's the big problem when CG releases entire factions, is that the investment's just too high. It's like, Jesus Christ, do I want the Inquisitors to get Grand Inquisitor, or do I go get like a GL and a half? Because that's realistically, the gear wise, it's about the same cost. Right. And that's just an asinine approach to have to the game. You can't release a squad that is at best a gas counter and then be like, well, yeah, but you have to invest into it because we told you to. I'm like, well, who wants to do that? Nobody does. That's just too expensive. I'd rather go get Ray or Slacker or JML or C or whatever,
I mean, even that's starting to get, like, okay, so the base for Luke was rough because you needed a lot of, you need
legendaries. Yeah.
Legendaries.
Yeah.
C was great, or the C farm was actually not bad at all, because that was pretty free to play friendly.
Yep.
As far as, even somebody that's been around a while, it took me a little bit, but, it wasn't bad. And then, Ray and Slacker, they weren't too bad either. At least Slacker is. So I've got Slacker, JML, and C now.
Yeah.
Their farms weren't bad. When you start talking the Executor, where I have to start R8ing people, that's where it starts to get a little,
Yeah.
And now, going after what now moving on to Kenobi, I need 2 relic 8s, like 5 relic 7s, and 10 relic 3s or something like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking
And
about I was thinking about that too the other day too. Like, why is Datacron's having more of an impact than like I was thinking about this. If TW and GAC were like the old versions where it wasn't, you did it, but it didn't really matter, right?
yeah,
We didn't have crystals and all these crazy gear pieces and stuff associated with it. I don't think it'd be that big. It would still bother me, but it'd be like, yeah, but it's just another game mode. It's not that big a deal. But they forced it that way because when you made crystals the big thing that, you have to do these JC battles and stuff, and then the gear that's associated with TW, and all you face in TW is the Lord Vader wall, and it's a nightmare. and then in GAC it comes down to that as well, and you're affecting people's crystals, the amount of gear they get, and we already talked about how it's so hard to farm these characters and gear them up, as you guys just eloquently just said. That's why people are really pissed off. You're affecting people's ways to be competitive. At least I don't mind losing, like TW. I don't mind losing, because sometimes you just run into someone that's got a better team, better gear, better player. It just happens, and I've always been like, salute, good job. But not like this, man. I mean, it's so frustrating when it's like this.
Well, the thing with TW is that, you're guild against guild, and, that matchmaking has been off since the beginning. But win or lose, you're losing, a couple of Zetas? Who cares? We get Zetas weekly.
Not anymore. It's a lot more than that now.
Well, and is it? I think
we get the rewards in TW where we're at, man. It's like the who's who of gear and Relic 9 and 8 and
I think we
Datacron materials, man.
Now, so
yeah, Datacron, and when you get up into the higher brackets, we're 460 million, I think, somewhere around there. I don't know.
Yeah, just shy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the goodies come in. So a loss, you feel the loss.
Well, when you're in the 380 bracket, you get 5 droid brains or 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. So that starts getting a little more competitive up there.
Well, just in the 380 bracket, you instinctively have to be competitive because you just set back your guild so far by not being. It becomes a real chore.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
But I guess before it used to be just bragging rights, and you're only off by, like I said, now it's a little different. But
yeah.
But again, if they didn't have Relic 9s, we wouldn't need to be pushing for that kind of crap anyways. Because I mean, what does okay, so Relic 9 is nice, but is there any character that needs a Relic 9?
There is a handful that I can argue that for.
Yeah. JML, I mean, he's the first one.
JML is like, the top of the GL list, and then you could probably argue all the GLs underneath that just because of the way their kits work. They gain that 10% health and protection
for relic
level. So there's a reason for that. And then behind that, the only feasible one I can tell you right now that makes a lick of difference is going to be like the meta pilots, which Admiral Morales doesn't even need to be Relic 9. That was just a force on their hand because the way his kit gives so much speed even at 4 stars that he outruns Executor. Like, okay, so I hard counter you all day. Check. And then the only other character I can think of that even remotely makes sense is Malgus, because the way he stacks so much health, him being a high relics is way more annoying than 7 or 8 or whatever else. Right. But I mean, again, it's the tanks. It's basically you have GLs, the meta capital ship pilots, and then literally it's like you can throw the tanks as a block. Tank characters are the third tier, but most of the tank characters, they're not unbeatable. I mean, what are people using right now to beat Malgus? Slacker. Well, and Malgus and GAC is essentially a GL. Okay, so Malgus inside of TW, what do you use to beat him? Even with the Kron, gas can beat him just fine. Right. So it's like, was the Relic 9 worth it? in one environment, kind of, and the other one not so much. So it's this they had with Relic 9 so heavily impacting tanks and basically Relic levels impacting ships. There's the only argument you can have is for that for those there. For the majority of the players, there isn't a single Relic 9 in game that is going to drastically change the performance of the character, albeit the exception of JML, because his kit heavily relies on his protection pool. So that's the only character in the entire game that I can say you should Relic 9 this character. Everything else, besides it being a requirement, I couldn't put a reason to pen or paper to make a good case for it.
No, the only one I did was boss, but that was because for Datacrons we were using boss for the Vader counter. I needed him to be beefy. That boy's taking a lot of damage. But that's a tank, and he's.
And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but that's also because you had somebody give you that opportunity.
Yeah.
It's because I paid for it essentially, which I'm not trying to brag on, but that's why you have it.
He made me do it because he was at Relic 8. So, I'm happy Relic 8, and Clayton got him spur up his ass, and he was like, hey Ranger, clang clang. I'm like, what do you mean? Go get that bus. Relic 9. Like, oh god.
But I mean, again, it's one of those things where at Relic 9, does he survive a little bit more? But it's like, okay, you can just take Bam in there instead of boss, and you can get your damage immunity and you're fine. There wasn't like it's not the end it be all, but I mean, otherwise there would be no point for you to invest that high into the character. That's really kind of all it came down to was that part of it. So it's just one of these things where they put such an importance on Relic 9 and then they didn't follow up with it, and that's what I'm really worried about for when Relic 10 comes around, which I'm assuming is going to be with the new TB. Is that we're gonna have to slug through all of these characters. It's gonna be something like stupid, like supports are gonna get just 100k health pool increases for hitting Relic 10, just asinine stat increases, and you're gonna have to slug through a support character who didn't need to go beyond Relic 5 for heaven or hell, and now you're gonna have to take them to R10 because they get so much better. And I'm like,
well, if you read between the lines, that Omega update, Omega update, in order to get the 100%, you have to have a Relic 10.
Yeah,
that's the only way that works.
Yeah, and then on top of that too, though, is that it's the max of 100%. So that means that their intention is to go beyond Relic 10.
Right, if you read between the lines. But
yeah, which I knew was coming. I don't give it. They can add as many Relic levels as they want to this game. I don't give a crap. There has to be a reason from a player perspective why to invest further. And right now, with Relic 9, they barely move the needle. There's a few characters that made sense to R9. Everything else is luxury. There is no reason to take all your characters to Relic 9. Relic 8 there's enough of a reason to make a good point for attackers and stuff like that to hit up to that level. But most characters, most supports, most healers, they hit R7. You don't need to go higher than that. And that was what they initially had developed those characters to hit, was R7. So I mean, they're gonna have to incentivize us to keep pushing beyond the veil of what they're giving us. And right now, it's like everything they release keeps telling me why would I bother? Because my Lord Vader could be infinitely better with his Datacron for the next 4 months than ever taking him to R9.
Yeah, absolutely. Why would you bother?
So why would I bother? Why would I just blow the $150 it requires in packs, or the damn near Jesus Christ $250 in crystals if you want to go buy it all out, to take a character to R9? I don't care. I'll go do anything else.
Well, I think they're slightly off the player base because they're going after the whales and they're going after the addictive nature of the game, and the whales are gonna, at least at a time, they put the whales to the point where, they're gonna get them to spend. Whereas the rest of us, the in-game economy, the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, because
it's a hotness.
The higher you are at the top, the more rewards you claim, which is just
right.
It makes sense, but in an asinine way.
If you look at some of the top players in the game, they have everything already. So yeah, the new things doesn't bother them. They're gonna grab it.
Well, the funny part is that the only way CG makes money on new characters for the Krakens that are buying everything day one is the release of a new character, because I guarantee you, gear wise, CG would have to release like 7 or 8 characters at a time to get these guys to dry up resources enough to where they wouldn't have to even think about buying something in the weekly store. I mean, I'm relatively at that point.
Yeah, mid-range players like, I'm sitting almost 7 million GP, which was, talk to me a year ago and I would have never thought I'd been at this point. And I've been climbing pretty quickly as far as, I guess it's been 4 years now I've been playing. I'm sitting at 7 mil, or I'm like 6.9, but still and I've got a fairly lean roster. I still have characters I haven't unlocked.
Yeah.
And, like over half my roster is sitting below gear 8.
Yeah.
And I'm having a hard time keeping up with the relics, trying to get them damn circuit boards. The first one that should be easy, relic 1, those carbonite circuit boards. I'm running out of materials for that. I got plenty of the other stuff. I'm just running out of the the circuit boards.
Yep. It's always weird. It's always a weird choke point for a lot of players, but I mean,
it's the gear 12. It's gear 12, man. I mean, if they're going to go relic 10, they're going to have to address it and start pumping into gear 12. It's not
the right side
pieces.
The left side pieces I got plenty of. It's the right side pieces that I can't get, or it's a slog to get.
Yeah, well, the drop rate's atrocious. It takes a ton of farming to get them. It could probably take you the better part of triple refreshes and a week worth of time to get your stack of 50 if RNG isn't with you.
With the amount of gear, what they need to do is they need to bring hard nose back to 8. That will relieve a little bit of it.
To be honest, they need to increase the amount of sims on a hard node before you have to pay for a refresh.
That's what I'm saying. It used to be 8. Well, they did 8 for a little while. Remember that, Ranger? It was
Okay, yeah. I thought you were talking about the energy cost too.
Oh no, the refresh, because right now we're only getting 5.
Yeah.
But there for a while they did 8. I'm sure we all remember that.
Yeah, they were doing that for a short period of time to help. I think was that during the JMLC, or was that leading into JMK where they had that active?
They've done it a couple times. I remember they did it a couple times. So they turned it on once and forgot to turn it off for a while, and then
that was.
And then they ripped it away from us. It's like, oh god dang it.
But yeah, I mean,
I think it was around I think it was around May 4th of one year.
Yeah. They just need to make the lower part of the game easier for players to kind of get up and into the gear 12 low relic side of the store, the game. But they don't want to. They want to capitalize on every single terrace of. It reminds me of it's of Warriors pillar system, where they just want to make money on every pillar. Like, so it's just like, we don't want you to get anything quickly. We want you to have to spend to get ahead. And just like at a certain point here, how much, like I think Arnold was saying the other day, this game's rounding up almost into $2 billion in money made. Like, at what point do we stop, bleeding us at the beginning of this game and make the game, get players further invested before they get stonewalled with, well, you really got to pay to get ahead, guys. Like, why are Zetas still at this point for new players, especially? Why are they such a crutch still? Why are the ability materials still a crutch? Why are Omega still a crutch for players, that they're running into? You have to be to a certain point in the game where this stuff doesn't bother you anymore. And that's mostly when you're a built out enough account, or you're not chasing everything that comes your direction. They just have so many bottlenecks that don't make sense anymore. And they just need to let them go and let Gear 13 become the next bottleneck, and which it already is. But let relics become the bottleneck where players need to do something with.
I think
like,
that's you're on par with that because when you excuse me with a collector game like this.
Doing your Arnold
Sorry,
there.
I'm still waking up. So
I just swallowed the frog.
Joppa. Yeah. With a collector game like this, when you have the bottleneck, the bottlenecks make sense with the Carbantes and the stun guns when Gear 12 was the top.
yeah.
Once you move that bar, you have to relieve that bottleneck and move on to the next one. And now, it used to be, as we go along, first it was Gear 12 was the bottleneck, and then now it's then it was Gear 13. And they kind of relieved getting to Gear 12 is easy now. But then they started adding relics, and now we have like 3 more bottlenecks because of all the gear needed, because you need, in order to get to higher relic levels, you need the gear that gets you to Gear 13. They need to relieve that so we can concentrate on the higher relic levels that they're pushing on us that we need.
Well, and some number cruncher in the back is just off his damn rocker when it came to the salvage breakdowns that we see for the materials for relic 7, 8, and 9 that we can break down, because it is out of this world expensive to break down. And the jump is out of control too, because you look at, okay, what does it take to get 20 impulse detectors on an account? You got to go. Let's pull up a salvage guy real quick and go take a look. Now it takes 3,600 crystals now, which is kind of funny, but to salvage to break down, it's gonna take you roughly about 190. I want to say. I think it's 190, give or take a little bit. Let's see what that breaks back down to. Oop, that's a big jump. I can't salvage well. Don't blame me. I can't count. All right. It takes 183 of that gear to do that, which 184, whatever you want to call it. I'm not gonna spend that. But then you go look at what the gear costs to buy and everything else, or spend all this time farming. It's like it's an asinine level, because that gear is 30 for 30 of that salvage for one of the left hand side pieces, not including the purple materials, which why they quit letting us pass relic or what the Letrium conductors breaking down full pieces to salvage, I have no idea. Probably just to justify why they won't change the raid rewards. But that's roughly, let's say roughly 180 pieces. That's six pieces on the left hand side you're giving up to get 20 impulse sectors to take one character to relic 8. So you're basically essentially sacrificing 2 characters halfway to Gear 13 for one relic 8 character.
Yeah.
And that's not including, we're not looking at anything else besides just the impulse sectors. The arrow magnifiers are another can of worms. You either buy them or be in a guild that's getting the C pit done on a regular basis. And that's not looking at any of the Zibidals, any of the Electrum conductors, and anything else that comes down to it. Like, it's just so expensive to take a single thing up in relic levels that it just doesn't make sense that why everything else has to be so expensive. Like I'm not even talking about like monetarily cost. I'm just talking about what the gear investment is,
the time investment.
Listen, if you just live by my words, I blame Finn. Be good.
If you just do what Ranger and I do, which is basically drink and then play the game and then don't care, they get distracted and then just do anything else for the next hour, it becomes tolerable again. But I mean, yeah, like I said, I could sit here for a year and a half and ramble on and on about how different things in this game should be improved and changed. And I mean, at the end of the day, CG's got to make their money, and I get all of that, but there has to be some concessions. They need to start allowing players to get caught up, to get to the end game a little quicker, to quit bottlenecking all these early game resources. Because it's like, I love how they're like, oh, well, we don't want to let the Carbantis and the stun guns get too out of control. And then you look at every new character they brought out in the last freaking, 2 years? Every single one of them's got like between 300 and 450 Chirotechs.
Yeah.
Like you could,
which are harder to get than the Carbantes
yeah, you could,
and the
you could
the
pour
Sun Gun.
Carbantis down my account, and I still wouldn't be able to level these characters up without farming them, because there's no other way to get them besides buying them or farming them, or the things they happen to drop from, because they do drop from everything in the game. But again, it all comes down to how much your guild is involved with that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's just like, they do these things that they make a statement on something, but it's like wet paper. It is so easy to poke through it to see, to be like, well, no, that can't be it, because here's the answer. And they're like, no, we're sticking with what we originally said. You're like, okay.
I blame Finn. All right, we'll go here a little while longer. Get your questions in, all that stuff. If you want to become a patron and come hang out with me today, because I'm going to be in Discord all day today in the VIP section, watching baseball, talking Star Wars, whatever's on your mind. That's what the VIP section for is. You get to come hang out, and you can ask me anything you want, look at anything you want. You get your own channel, all that good stuff. And you support the channel. So $5 if you become a patron. If you do become a patron, make sure you do message me so I can make sure you get your status, because I want to make sure you get access. I was just chilling yesterday watching the NFL game. A bunch of VIPs came in. We were just sitting there bullshitting, talking Andor, Rings of Power, everything. So, that's the kind of fun stuff you do. And Nicholas says, Clayton, do you stream? No, he's just here. He's either here or he's with Scribbles.
Scribe. I'll jump around. I jump around. I like to be a talking head. I don't like to stream. My competitive nature will either make me rage worse than Ram, or I get a little apprehensive about playing like shit. Oh, hey, look, this is going to be one of the worst. I'm just going to stop at that. Dismantle that Datacron. Go away. Yay.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing about streaming GAC anymore, is just the Datacrons. If you don't have it, then the content that's there is, you used to be able to have a snowball chance in Arizona to survive sometimes, but now with Datacrons, it's like you see one or two, you're just like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, there's certain team comps and everything else you start seeing on the field, and you're just like, and I guess I'm just gonna be done.
Yeah, it's that's the other thing, is that the matchmaking it's one being a collector game. At least, I mean, it's kind of getting better for a minute, but after this long of doing the skill ratings, I'm not even sure if that's working anymore, because I mean, yeah, granted, there's times I'm facing guys 2 million GP more than me, and it's like there's no way they can just run over me.
Yeah, it's the middle run that is getting just absolutely obliterated. And this problem, they need a 2-part skill rating system, because part of it is going to be skill rating, but you've got to have some GP ceilings.
Yeah.
Like, you have to. I don't care if that makes the people who have a 9 million account never face an easy account ever again, because those players that don't want to compete, they don't care if they go against a 9 million or a 5 million account.
Yeah.
They're not going to compete. So why are we trying to, well, we don't want these players to, players that got to be able to play at their skill level. And I'm like, there's a reason why somebody in freaking Erodium is fighting a 9 million GP player. It's because that 9 million GP player isn't giving a crap.
Yeah.
They're just dropping to wherever they're comfortable, and there needs to be some GP ceilings. They need to create a new bracket of GP as well. We need to go like to a Beskar tier or something else. We need something that separates the people that want to play the game competitively and casually or whatever else. They need to kind of separate these things out a little bit. They need to have some GP ceilings. It's like the tail end of Kyber shouldn't be seeing an 11 million GP account, because the 11 million GP doesn't care anymore. And it ruins the fun for those other characters. I mean, Ranger had this problem long before Datacrons were just raging, but it's like you get to a certain threshold where, Ranger fights an account. I think the one that was, the guy was like 10.5 to 11 million GP.
Yeah.
The battle didn't come down to who played better. The battle came down to is that guy had had a deep enough roster to just throw tunes against the wall until it fell.
Yeah.
Because Ranger got blocked out in the back wall, couldn't get through. The guy did like 13 attempts and finally was able to beat the team. And then Ranger's a loss because he's out of squads. And this guy's just like, well, I got 12 more teams to go. Let's just have at her. Like, there are certain competitive advantages with that GP number,
Yeah.
In the middle run, not so much. But when you're at the high end, a million GP difference is like 3 or 4 flushed. Actually, it's more than that. Jesus Christ. It's a million GP difference can be like 8 flushed out teams.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've hit it.
Yeah. And so it's like, you just get to this point where it's like, there's no way you can balance that without locking out players from being able to fight each other. And that's what the original system was better for, was that you were more consistently, especially at the high end, fighting the same.
I mean, even if the GPs, well, I mean, even if your top GP, because the top GP was where, most players play, right? I mean,
yeah.
Who cares about the bottom? But, well, I think the other problem is all these people that have been dropped. I mean, we've been doing this, for a year now?
Yeah, pretty close.
Or, getting there, if not a little more.
Yeah.
All those big guys that are like, oh, I don't care anymore, that just don't care. You're getting them down in Bronzium, right? And then you got all the new players in Bronzium that have, a million GP. That's what they have. And then they go up against a guy that's sitting there with like, it'd be like me, they're going against a guy like me with 6.9. I could put my weakest teams on defense and still win. Mm-hmm. I could let it auto set the bottom of my roster and still they would not have a chance. And that's just not fair.
Yeah, you could set gas and lock them out.
Yeah. I just one team, and it is demoralizing their dark side. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I'm got 3 G or 2.5 because I don't have C is not at. Well, I guess I got 3.5 because Star Killer works, but even so, I'm facing guys with all 5 or 6, GLs, and it's like
soon to be 7.
Soon to be 7, yeah. But I mean, it's like 3 against 7. It's like, oh well, crap. I mean, that's not everything, but then throw Datacrons on top of that. It's like I got, some of them. It's like, all right, I guess I'll do one battle and go from there. I mean, get my 10 points to move on with my life because, it's.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
isn't that Ranger? Isn't that what Poby does now? She literally just goes in, and she'll like just auto the team. If she wins, she'll do another. She basically just goes till she loses, and then when she loses, she quits.
She didn't give shit.
I mean, that's what I was doing for 3v3s there for the last couple months. It's just it's like I just it's hard to get motivated to try again anymore. And I used to love 3v3s, but now it's like with Datacrons, it's just like okay, I'll go in and take out this team or I've been
threes is tougher with Datacrons because it's just even more difficult to get over those characters. I mean, Vader right now in threes is a monster. He isn't.
Well,
but yeah, I'm at the point where it's like if I see a Grievous team, it's like, okay, throw Wampa at it, auto it, win. All right, that's it. That's all I'm doing. I got better crap to do with my time.
Yeah, well,
and it just doesn't make and that's the other thing is like they took all the fun of streaming GAC out because you're just smashing your head against a wall if you have no chance. Everybody wants to win, and a good even though you lose, you learn stuff, but after a while you get after losing, like they set it up to you're supposed to win 50% of the time, lose 50% of the time.
That ain't a lot of people
fine, but that's not happening anymore.
No, well, the thing is too is like it's killing the streaming environment for another reason. Because people want to watch a competitive match. They don't want to watch someone rage every time. As much fun it is to watch Ranger just get as red as his beard, it's good.
That's
fun.
Admiral Commodore Redbeard to you, plebe.
I thought something with a wench. It was the red bearded.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyways, as much fun as it is to watch it happen, once or twice, when it becomes consistent, then nobody really wants to watch somebody rage all the time. They want to watch people win. And so it's like a lot of streamers are seeing decreased numbers or decreased activity while they're streaming, because the engagement levels are lower. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Nobody wants to do
that's,
anything. So
I mean, that's, that's what Urs did. He was having fun there for a while and trying his best, but then all of a sudden it's like when you're constantly losing,
Yeah,
that's not fun anymore.
It's not fun anymore.
And
He
it's
moved on.
just that it takes the fun out of it, and if you're not having fun, nobody wants to watch. And so, yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, I've been at that point a couple times.
Good question from Celtics. He says, good discussion, but what is the conclusion? How will CG change? How will CG will change their mind? What is the conclusion? How CG will change their? How will CG change their mind?
Unfortunately,
I
don't
don't
think they
know.
will.
I don't think they will. I think whoever. From what the people I know at CG, there are people that obviously care about this game, right? I mean, we rag on CG, but it's just certain elements in CG that just are giving us the pause that are like, what the hell are you thinking? But there's still a lot of good stuff that comes into this game, and I know there are a lot of good people over there that want to see this game be successful. I mean, this is their job. This is their livelihood. You know what I'm saying? This is their bread and butter. So they want to put out a good product. They care about it. They're all nerds. I know them. They're all a bunch of nerds over there, man, and I respect the hell out of it because they're just as, I mean, you see me hanging out with Meathead and Crumb and Crazy, and we're all a bunch of big nerds. They just happen to be the nerds that work for the company. I just think that there's been just certain decisions that are just mind scratching. And so the only way that the CG is going to recover from this, in my opinion, because it's, as I said, the game is bleeding. It's not dead. It's not dying, but it's bleeding. If we don't do some kind of first aid here soon and and go after the trauma that's being inflicted, the game's going to start spiraling out of control. It's not there yet, but it's getting closer and closer the more we deal with datacrons and the more they allow datacrons to be a thing. And obviously that they do listen and they do care, because I've never, I mean, you can't go 100% one way or 100% the other. There's a gray area with this because the mod changes. That's them listening. That's them actually getting it. Some of the stuff, I know the gear stuff, but I mean, there's been changes in this game that you go, okay, they're listening. They're making changes. They're being productive. They're doing good stuff here, right? But then there's a lot of other stuff that comes in here where it's like, that is so out of touch. Who came up with this? So you have to balance it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter all the good stuff they're doing over here. If this bad stuff's over here and it's really affecting player base and their willingness to play and engage in this game, then you lose. It doesn't matter how much good shit you did on the other side. It doesn't matter. The perception is the reality, and the reality is datacrons are neutering this game right now. Go ahead, BCM.
Yeah, I mean, that it's kind of par for the course, though. Over the years we played this game, they'll come out with something good, like the mod. The mod tweaking, just outstanding. I mean, it's great. You come out with something like that, that's good. But then you have this other side that it's like every step forward we take, we take 2 steps backwards.
Yeah, dark side.
Something that just like bangs your head against the wall.
This does remind me a lot of what happened with Galaxy. If you guys don't remember, guys, Star Wars Galaxies was an MMORPG. So what happened in Galaxies is the game was out. It was phenomenal, man. I used to play the living shit out of the game. We loved it. I mean, if they had never changed that game, it would have been tops, man. But Sony bought it out. The first thing Sony tried to do, and they owned EverQuest and EverQuest 2 at the time, I believe. They'd gotten EverQuest. They tried to first tweak it by making it like EverQuest. Like, they did a whole bunch of shit, and it was like, okay, but we tolerated it. And then
the
they
combat
did
upgrade?
the NGE. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. I had only been playing for about a year.
Oh my god, dude!
Before the NGE hit,
and someone thought that they knew better, and the player base just bolted. I've seen it in quite a few games where, the decisions have an impact on this game, and if a company doesn't react to it, or there was no recovering from that. Once that happened, the entire player base left that game. That game died within a month.
At that point, it basically they should have done Galaxies 2 versus redo the base game, because when they redid that base game and then GE, yeah, I was there when that happened and it
It
just went to
just
hell.
it was like it was gross. Celsius says,
It was mass
oh, it was mass
exodus.
exodus.
And,
We all went and played. I think we went to City of Heroes Villains for a little bit, and then we went to Warcraft. It was a group of us that were just like, let's go play something else.
yeah,
And
my group, we went over to EverQuest 2 for a bit, and then
yeah, it was dead. It was dead in the
bad.
water. It was dead in the water. Celsius says, I'm understanding your side ranger, but I still do not see that they'll change it in the way that we want unless their revenue collapses. Well, that's money talks, bullshit walks. So,
Yeah.
but we don't have the financials, so I can't tell you, what their numbers are saying. So yeah.
Yeah, the biggest issue, really the only way that this really does anything for CG is that they're gonna have to have experienced like dramatic decline in player activity and spending, because that's the only way that they're going to change it. But I mean, the problem that we always have, and this is always the downside of being the front end user and not in the pipeline, is they've been working on Datacrons for the better part of 9 months or more before we ever even saw the leak, let alone the time between then and when it was announced. These things are not just plop down, but the thing of it is, though, is that what an idea is and what it becomes are two different realities. And so I think that the core concept and the idea behind Datacrons wasn't a bad call, but their response time to it, and I think this is what actually a lot of players in my old guild, the reason why they quit with Datacrons launching was because literally they came out and said, unless the Datacron makes the game unplayable, we're keeping it. And people were like, you got to be kidding me, because the way we break shit when we, it's the every time they release a character that's kind of gone bananas in the game, they've had to patch it quickly or whatever else, because there's a difference between their internal team of 50 people test a character and whatever else, and what we can do in an afternoon with 1 million people testing in the characters and whatever else. But the fact that that was their stance on it, I think that's what a lot of people were just like, so you don't care what comes down as long as people are spending money on it. And I think that's really where a lot of people decided that was their time to split, was when CG was not going to step in and intervene, because in all honesty, this Lord Vadercron after this season of fives, I guarantee you we will see another massive drop off of players in the high end, because the game isn't fun. I could beat Lord Vader before. I can't now because I wasn't willing to spend however many hundreds of thousands of crystals, hundreds and or thousands, not hundreds of thousands, to get the Kron, or to get a Kron that counters it. Like they're just putting this out there as a way to for players to have that. So I mean, in all honesty, I think a lot of players now are holding out for TB. They are praying that TB comes around. They're praying that with all these raid armies showing up, that they're going to release a raid. They're doing all these things. But in all honesty, the only way Datacrons just falls off the face of the earth, which is I'm 100% with you, Ranger. That's the only way that they should deal with it, is just pull the plug and scrap them. I don't think you can salvage them to where you're going to keep anybody happy.
Mm-mm.
I think you're going to fight too hard, left, right, or center. They're not going to be good enough, so no one's going to invest into it. They're going to be still too strong. No one's going to care. The core concept of them is at this point just so ruined that we've had the taste of the high octane, that if we go down to farmer's grade diesel here, you're not going to have anybody be tickled with it anymore. Yeah, okay, it makes my squad better, but my squad performs damn near the same with or without it, so why do I want them? So the only way they're going to ever do that is pull it, which again is something I don't see CG doing unless the entirety of the game falls off the rails, which at that point, pulling Datacrons in a year from now, you're too far behind it. I mean, the only saving grace I'm seeing so far is that we haven't seen anything on set 5 yet, but I mean, I guarantee you when this conquest ends, we'll see it within the 2 weeks after that. So
Yeah, but yeah,
They're-
I saw Zaret's video about the overall play. I think it was like 500,000 2 years ago. Kind of did the 400,000 last year, and then this year, up to September, I think with the numbers like 360, 370,000 total players.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not good numbers. I don't know what the percentage was. I'll take your word for the math because we're talking math, and you're going to lose me here. So,
Yeah, we just really need a way in the game that they need to do something that makes a viable income revenue for them. But Datacrons ain't it.
it ain't Datacrons, man. It's always been about the characters
viable.
and gear, and that's always been a thing. And they've always, it's like they just, God damn it.
Well, it's
and
the
Omicrons. I mean,
biggest thing.
honestly, Omicrons, people didn't mind investing in those things because it's a one-time investment, but man, it really had an impact,
Yeah.
I think the only Omicron people have
308,000
knee-jerked.
players at the moment. Jesus Christ, that's a pretty big drop off. It was 5. I gotta look at that. He had a slide up with that. I gotta go back and look at that.
the Omicrons, there was always a point of contention on the cost of Omicrons given the game mode. It's because like you can only use a light side TB1 for a week, once a month. Is that the same? Should that be considered the same level of investment of an Omicron? If it's not a guaranteed 4 out of 4, as a GAC Omicron, which you get to use 3 times a week for 3 weeks out of a month. So there was always a question on the resources invested into Omicrons for the mode that they gave it to, which is fine. That was an argument to have, but Datacrons is another beast entirely. It's literally just you either got it or you suffered, and I don't think that should be a viable way to play the game in the long run. Players should not be punished because they didn't engage. It's one thing when you release like Jabba the Hutt, and I'm going to have 7 GLs to most of my opponents only having
6,
but that's different because Jabba the Hutt is not the end all be all GL. He's not breaking the meta. Lord Vader walks over him without a Datacron.
Right.
Yeah, it's actually Jabba's kid, and the way they did it is pretty balanced.
Yeah, and so it was fine, but like, so a player would, in response would just go, okay, you have Jabba, likely you're going to put him on defense. So I'll just take Lord Vader offense.
Yeah.
But now you can't do that because of the stupid Kron is too good to pass up on. But I mean, it was something that players could always get access to. It wasn't completely cutting off everyone's ability to participate. Where Krons are just like, unless you're willing to throw serious money on getting your, buying the data cache, playing the crap out of Conquest for the refreshes and everything else. It just gets down to the point where, it's just, it costs too much. It just costs too much to keep it alive. I don't understand why that's the mantra. Well, if you just spend a vault a month on farming your Datacrons, it'll be okay.
Some people can't
No,
do
thank you.
that. A lot of people can't do that. Times are tough out there, man. Read the room. Celsius
90
says 308,000 players at the moment. Sig had a chart about the current stats. He released at the leader server. Okay, I knew there was a reason where these stats were coming from. So that ain't good, man. Damn, 300,000 only.
From what, 500,000 a year ago or 2 years
Something
ago?
like that. It was like it's 400,000 last year. So I mean. But then that's barely above 308,000.
I mean, it makes sense as why the response is to create more ways of revenue income, but
not when you're losing players.
You can only milk the cow so much before the cow goes, yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
These teats are dry, sir.
You just milked me 2 minutes ago. Damn. Can I eat some grass? Shit.
Feels like a Family Guy moment. I just finished milking the goats, dear. Those are all males. Well, they're happy. Okay.
If they're happy and they know it's squeeze the teeth. All right, we're gonna do a final countdown because I have to go get some liqueur so we can go jump in the Discord and have some fun watching sports today, which we will do. Okay, 300,000 signed up for GSC. There are some others that don't play, but not enough to get up to 500. Yeah, okay, there we go. Whatever the numbers are, they're down. So There you go.
The important takeaway. Shit's not doing well.
Yeah, Nicholas, but it's just an overall feeling and stuff. And eventually, the way the matchmaking and stuff and players are dropping, you're going to run into someone that you're just going to be like, what the hell is this? You're just going to be like, wow. So it's overall. Everyone's experience is going to be different too. So, yeah. But it's just if you're in a chill place, that's cool. I mean, I'd like to be in a chill place, but I'm kind of forced to be where I'm at. It's like I could just not care. Can't really be a content creator and not care. You have to go in there and give it your all.
Yeah.
The other problem is too, with that same train of thought though, is the players at the high end of this game are the ones keeping this afloat for everybody else. So like if you keep taking away the Krakens, they keep retiring, just wildly stepping back their investment levels, selling their accounts, whatever else. At a certain point, you get to the point where they're going to have to increase the spending per player so much that the average free to play or light spender, it'll become intolerable to them. It's an old story where if you have 20 people out at dinner and everybody 19 of those people only have to pay $1 for an all-you-can-eat buffet, while the 20th person pays for everything. They're fine with it at the beginning, but that 20th person leaves, and then everyone has to start paying $10 for dinner. Well, then you get more people upset. They don't want. They were like, well, I was only paying $1. Why do I got to pay more? So that ends up happening. If the more they kick out the 1% of the players who are doing 80%, the top, what is that dynamic? The top 20% of the game of the spenders in this game account for the 80% of spending done. So the more you axe off that 20%, the more the remaining 80% is going to have to keep up if capital gains wants to continue to keep the revenue growing. So
yeah,
somebody needs to be able to stand up to EA and tell them to bugger off and listen, we got to stabilize this game and get it off of life support, otherwise this game's going to die, and then we're going to have to create something different to continue making money for your EA overlord. So
all right, I'll go for a few more minutes here because we got a lot of stuff to do today. I'm going to be in Discord all day. If you would like to come join me, you just got to become a Patreon. $5 a month. I'll link the Patreon in the chat. There you go. So you can do that, and if you do, let me know. I'll get you tagged, get you your VIP status, and come join us as we chill out the rest of the day. I'm gonna be drinking because why not? We'll have to go get the liquor first, and fuckers not being open was bullshit.
Revenator, your point is like nuts on, because the last 2 years, especially for the majority of the world's economy, you had some sort of level of you had a lot more disposable income because you were getting, you were forced to stay home, and you were getting money from different sources, from unemployment, from the federal government, from whatever else there was, and you had a lot of security blankets too. It wasn't that big of a deal if you didn't make rent that month or whatever else, because they couldn't kick you out. And so a lot of players had massive increases in spending. I mean, hell, look at OnlyFans. Look, some of the stories from those girls who are complaining from going from $100,000 per month down to a measly $10,000 are hysterical. I love listening to those sob stories. But you get these people who, at the time, up until early this year, they could do whatever and play. People were buying it. People were getting involved, spending that money because they had excess laying around. Well, we're about to be in the complete other direction of that economy in about 6 months, and people are really starting to tighten up on those purse strings. And I swear to you, their response is, well, we need to get more ways to increase the revenue stream. No, nobody wants to do that. They're stopping spending for external reasons, not because there's not enough to spend on the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, like you said earlier, read the room. There is 5 coins between the 20 people in the room. Why are we trying to get all 5 of them? You're just not gonna happen. So it's gonna be I really hope somebody in CG gets their head on their shoulders and figures it out, because I don't think this game can go another year with Datacrons being where they're at.
I don't think this game will live another year with Datacrons. I can't see. I mean, I guess hard lessons have to be hard earned. I guess, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you got people like myself. I mean, and it's not like we don't have any experience with this. I mean, Clayton runs his own business. I have a degree in business and marketing. I've worked with some of the top companies in the world. I'm not doing so now, but I've had that experience. You know, BCM. We all have this experience, right?
Yeah.
We've been there, done that. We've seen what happens and stuff. We've been a part of some of these decisions and stuff, and it's like it's free advice, man. You can take it or leave it. You can ignore us. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. I'm never one to say I told you so, but you know, when this game goes away and we're playing something else, I mean, I don't want to hear any bitching or complaining. Yeah.
What we could have done to prevent this? I don't know. Look from our streams a year ago. We could have given you about 80,000 points of answers.
Yeah.
Like, again, I think the pure revolt of Datacrons has little to do with players not wanting to spend.
No.
It's such a negative impact to the player experience is why it's a constant festering source of conversation. This is why we talk about this damn near daily. It's why every streamer on Twitch has a blurb in their thing where they just bitch about Datacrons.
Oh.
And this is why. It's not that it's, you know, nobody wants to spend money or put in the time to grind in Conquest to get a couple of those things for free. It's that you literally made the playing experience so poor. Like, hell, my favorite game mode in this game now is now Conquest and TB, because Datacrons aren't there. And it's a game mode I can play for basically 2 weeks a month. So it's like, I don't give a crap about GAC. I don't really care about TW anymore, because you got a whole wall of Vadercrons. It's like, I can deal with one, but I can't deal with everything. You know, there are just so many things where it's just the experience gets so poor. That's what starts to leave the sour taste in your mouth. It's not that I don't want to come back and play the game. I love playing the game. I don't want to come back and do GAC because my opponent has a better Datacron than me, or they've got 18 Datacrons that all have above 50% dodge. Like, that's not a fun experience. So I think that's where they need to understand with Datacrons is it has nothing to do with the monetary value that goes into them, and has a lot more to do with the experience players are having with them and their interactions. And the majority of it's negative. It's fun every once in a while when you get to have fun crushing somebody with the Datacron. Don't get me wrong. I said that a month ago when set 3 was, or 2 months ago when set 3 was just coming out. It's fun when you're the one winning.
Yeah.
But when everybody has that and you got to start facing it, it's no longer fun. And fun is relative. It's you enjoyed using it. And you could say that about a lot of things, but you don't really have a fun time after you're done or next time you got to face it, you know?
No.
I mean, we ran into that too if you just look back at the metas, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, going back, my first meta was the JK or the Jedi Knight Revan Darth Revan thing, right? Jedi Knight Revan was a pain in the butt until you got Darth Revan, and then it was fun. I got up into I was in the top 50 with Darth Revan. It was great. And then you got gas, so that's like son of a gun. But then then it shifted, and then but then the GLs came in, and GLs are just like ridiculous, and they still are. But then it started getting balanced to where C could beat
this game
Kylo depended. It was back and forth, right? It was coin flip.
This game was so balanced before Datacrons. It really was. It was in a really good spot. I really so when Datacrons were announced, I was like, oh, shit.
You know what actually impresses the crap out of me, Ranger?
What's that?
Is the fact that Jabba dropped into this game balanced.
Yeah, he's really well balanced. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he was designed to beat JMK, but there are most of the dark side GLs crush him. He beats most of the light side GLs, and so it's just like, I was impressed that they didn't just be like, all right, screw you, we're gonna have this team be bananas. But doing one thing right in the sea of a shitstorm does not change the fact that you've got so many other things to address. So that's just kind of where
one attaboy does not correct 100 oh shits.
Yes. We'll end on this. Go Cup says, I'm still baffled why they don't try to sell a crap ton of $2 and $5 great deal packs. They would be surprised at how many free-to-play would open their wallet for a good deal to help them along. I don't either. How hard is it to put in the game?
I mean, they used to do that.
You can still have the big packs that they've got, but you can still throw bones because people will buy that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think we'll see some of those with the web store, to be honest. And I think the web store is actually going to be a huge win for them if they keep their prices the same. Listen, I will take this right now. You keep your prices the freaking same on the web store as the in-game, eliminating the fact that you got to pay Google Play and iTunes, and you pull Datacrons out. I'll take it right now. I'll make that trade all day of the week because I don't. You're gonna make so much more money per transaction now if you get people involved in using your new web store. That why do you need Datacrons? Datacrons are only forcing the player base out. But anyways, I 100% agree, Cubs. I think they need to do more of those $5 and $10 bundles where you're getting, like, for $5 you're getting 100 Chirotechs and have it once a week. You get a player to spend $5 a week. If you can get 100,000 players to do it, it's good money. Quit trying to get these whales on spending $300 on a marquee. I mean, shit, we have what, barely 1,000 7-star Hondos in the game. It's like, yeah, does it make good money? Sure, but you're just the Ranger. You need to go talk to them about some marketing techniques because they suck. They suck ass at them.
I have.
Well, they even a lot of the player base knows this game is a marathon, not a sprint, right? And they're treating it like it's a sprint.
Yeah,
it's a marathon with sprints in between, or with every new character, whatever comes out.
Yeah, it is.
But eventually, you're going to kill people. They're just going to leave.
I'm
not running anymore. What are you talking about?
Did Pimpo quit?
I don't know.
I don't know. He has a new account. Okay.
Yeah, a lot. Actually, that's a lot of players that I know of. They're actually starting alts instead of playing at the end game because they don't have to spend.
Yeah.
And that's just where the other game just sits on live support.
Yeah.
Exactly, Cubs. If you could get the average player to spend $5 by adding value, because we're literally talking about imaginary things for money. Like, it's not a physical thing you get to hold. You're not delivering a physical product, and you're trying to tell me that there's no way that you could convince the average player to spend, to put the value, like
$5
when
to
they
$10
sold
a month. That's all you need.
When they sold the freaking furnaces for $10, like, that's incredible value. A complete furnace for $10. That's darn near $50 in crystals. It's like those sold like hotcakes. I gotta imagine those sold very well. Do high value packs. Let them be, let them be free. Like, let the frequency be, a little farther apart, but let them be consistent. Let them be things that players can depend on, because that's what gets you consistent things being bought. I'm not saying that everyone needs to go spend money in the game. I'm just saying if you want to find other revenue sources, do it better.
What was it? Those five? Was it the 500 crystal packs or whatever that gave you all the gear? Those, you know what I'm talking?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, those were great.
Yep.
And if you want a crystal sync, with all the crystals you're giving out in GAC, I mean, that's perfect. Bring those back.
Yeah,
I buy those constantly.
Benny says, what if they know that it's Dynasty, they just milk hard? Well, the players will pick up on that and they'll just say, go to hell. I mean, we'll know. I mean,
eventually the cow walks away.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and it's happening already. You're losing big spenders frequently.
And that's not metaphorical. I've worked on dairy farms. The cow will eventually walk away. It just kick at you and just leave you.
Yeah, but why let the game die when you can save it? You know, I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
just,
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I
All
just
they
think
have to
that's a
do is get
horrible
rid of
mentality.
Datacrons, and the game will turn around.
Yeah.
Well, it's literally it's piss away millions of dollars of revenue a quarter by letting the game die, or reel it back in and get it off life support, get it functional again, and then start introducing new ways of monetizing the player base. But as I swear to you, it's the epitome of the person who at the time can charge a high end price for their thing, and then when the people quit buying it at the frequency, they can't understand why they're not selling as much as they used to.
Yeah.
It's like the only reason this game is even still around with Datacrons at the shitty state that they're in is because there's no other mobile Star Wars title worth playing.
Mm-hmm.
True.
If there was another option that was on par or offered a similar experience that was functioning better, we would all have left by now, because Datacrons are just so expensive. They're not fun. No one's enjoying them. It's like, and in all honesty, that's all it's going to take. That is all that is holding this company back from complete and utter failure on its title.
As the IP, yeah.
Yeah, if there was any other competition. So, I mean, that's all it would take. And I can't believe the audacity behind that with EA losing their exclusivity license. I cannot believe the audacity behind the Capital Games that nobody will come up behind them and introducing something that's going to get players to start spinning away.
Well, then they just had somebody, I think Kathleen Kennedy or somebody said they want a new Star Wars game every 6 months.
Yeah, so they want a AAA title every year, and then they want a Star Wars. Oh, what the hell was that? Star Wars Starfighter? No, what was the game?
Rogue Squadron?
Rogue? No,
Or-
was it Rogue? No.
Or
It was
Squadrons? Was it Squadrons?
Star Wars Squadrons. They want a Star Wars Squadrons type game where it's less production, or it's going to be like kind of like Assassin's Creed, where they're just going to build a spin-off of a particular engine every year, but then have that release every 6 months, something of that nature.
And end up like Call of Duty.
Yeah, kind of. Which I mean, as long as it's not terrible content, I mean, it'll still sell.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's so crazy how starved the player base has been for decent Star Wars games for the last decade, that it will take so very little to appease us. But I mean, the thing is too,
I mean, you remember the glory days of the 90s, man.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I have all those games on my computer.
Yeah, I know, right? The X-Wing or X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
The whole Jedi Outcast series,
Jedi Outcast, Dark Forces,
Republic Commando,
Republic Commando. Yeah, God, all of that.
You know, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where I swear to you, it's not that hard to I mean, and that might change. We don't know exactly what it'll bring through, but I mean, until they decide to pull their head out of the sand on
Empire War, huh?
the longevity of this, it won't take long. I mean, we're staring down the barrel of a gun right now, and all we're waiting for is the winds to change enough for that trigger to go off, and then it goes. So
All right. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe. We're going to go for a couple minutes more here, and then I'm going to go run to the store so I can be back so we can hang out in Discord. Again, that's for the VIPs. So if you want to become a VIP and come hang out with me and DCM and Clayton, whoever else wants to show up, we'll be in the Discord, hanging out, having a good time. I'll have the games on in the background. Actually, where's the Yankees game? We may just be listening to the Yankees game because I think they'll have it on ESPN radio. I just not paying $30 a month for just to playoff baseball. I don't have TBS down here, so I have everything else. We can watch the other ones. They'll be on Fox, but Fox Sports. So I got that squared away. But regardless, we'll be hanging out. But I got to go get the liqueur first. Yeah, so liqueur. Yeah, say. And you get the liquor, say. Yeah. So I'm going to go run and do that real quick, and then I'll be jumping in the Discord, and I'll tag everybody. Also in the Discord, Finny just put the stuff for the ACS charity announcement. If you join our Discord, you can go check that out. It's under, as soon as you jump in, there's the charity announcement right there. So he's got the information there, the Tiltify link for our current 2022 Tiltify. I think we've raised over $7,000 so far this year. We haven't done a big event since the beginning of the year, or whenever we did it. So we're hoping to get over 10,000 at least. So So spread the word about that. Again, if you want to join us on November the 5th and come meet me and Finn and everybody else, come do that. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. So do that. And then anything else? Just going through any news and notes. There's the 5th, so all that information's in there. Patreon. I'll put some more bullshit t-shirts stuff for the trip on Amazon. I know some of you don't want to do like Patreon or stuff like that. You're just not comfortable. We have the Amazon wish list, which you guys made me create. I put some more bullshit on there, so I'll wear that on the trip if someone wants to do that instead. So there's lots of ways. There's simple ways. Just hit the thumbs up and subscribe. That's some ways you guys can support the channel, but just hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and that's the best way to do it. So I think with that, give it one more minute. With that, I think we are going to wrap it up, and then I'll need about 30 minutes to go scoop up what I need to scoop up, and then we'll get this party started in Discord. More than welcome. We'll talk about anything. I just have the game in the background. We're usually bullshit about other stuff. Unless someone hits a home run, we're like, oh shit. So, but yeah, we just like to sit there and hang out, have fun, talk, bullshit, drink, be merry. You know, man stuff, women stuff, us stuff, them stuff.
People stuff.
People stuff. Anything else? I think that's it. Jedi Academy tomorrow. We'll have the stream tonight. We'll do GAC with Happy Hour. Although if Clayton's not going to be there, maybe I'll do it on Saturday.
'Cause it's happy hour, drinking double shooters.
Do you want to do GAC on Saturday? Because your Papa's going to be here tonight. I mean,
He's going to be here all weekend. So,
oh,
I mean,
then never mind. So.
I wouldn't really. Like I said, I don't know what his plan is for a night. Usually, he likes to hang out Friday nights. But it could be he could be here at 7 your time, or he could be here at 9. It just kind of depends on what he's got going on. Because his sister lives here in town, and a couple other people up here that he knows. So it depends on what he's got going. But
Okay.
yeah, then Saturday we'll do right as you're probably getting off Jedi Academy. We'll be heading out to breakfast. So then we'll always do that. So I won't be. Yeah. I wouldn't be until probably after you would have to cycle through.
Yeah, I don't want to cycle through. I got D&D and other stuff to do. So no, see. All right, I think that's it. So give me about 30 minutes. I'll tag everybody when I'm in the Discord. You're all welcome. Of course, Clayton, you're welcome. BCM, you're welcome to come hang out in there. But with that, I think we're good to go. So thanks for joining us today. Yes, it was a good discussion. So feel free to join our Discord. Just a great group of folks in there. If you can come do that. Spread the word about RSG, everything we're doing. And with that, I think we're going to end the stream. So TGIF to everybody. Thank God it's Friday. Glad to have you guys here. We'll see you tonight for happy hour. If not, we'll see you tomorrow for Jedi Academy. If not, we'll see you when we'll see you. Have a great one, and we'll talk